Have a good one. Thank you. I'm going to sit in the middle for me to be the mediator. Thanks, Bruno and Fernando. For us to start and for you, our public to get to know you, please introduce yourselves as well as the companies you work for together with your story, and then we move on to our topic. Please, Fernando, go ahead. My name is Fernando Catzones. I am a founder and CEO of Lifetime Investments. It's a company that manages high-end clients and their assets, and we look at the market from A to C when you talk about investment. I am the only guy here who is not from IT, but you are an engineer, right? So it's okay. Yeah, it's electric engineering, so it's not actually that similar. Okay. Bruno, please introduce yourself as well as your company. Neospace. We develop foundational models, and within them, we would like to reinvent clients' experience regarding customer service and conversations, but also CRM. When you join an app of a company, you already know what each customer needs by analyzing them in a unique way. So it's a different experience. Most of the experiences you see are very similar, so we want to have an AI-based CRM in order to transform the experiences, which is part of our focus. Nice. Just for us to create context, with AI we have real results, and here we have two different results according to the stories, something that's more applied to daily life, and you will understand Fernando's case, and the other, which is a Neospace, which is more for development with a platform that many of you here in the public may use. For starters, Fernando, tell us about your vision. For what have you used AI? I believe you had a great partnership with Distrito for usability and artificial intelligence. Distrito is an innovation hub here in Brazil which focuses on AI. But tell us a bit more about the lifetime case and how have you seen that new daily practice which is supported by a best friend which is not human. Lifetime started talking about that in a more important way 2 years ago, when that hype became stronger concerning AI, and that fear of being left outside and not being sufficiently innovative, and when that started coming towards us. But the greatest challenge goes through a very different principle in Lifetime. We believe that the relationship between humans in customer services and a determined customer profile, which is our customer, a high-end customer, a millionaire or a billionaire customer, will always be established by an interpersonal relationship as a result of neuroscience and that generation we have in the exchange that happens between human beings. I will not give you the details, but understand that as our challenge in order for us to imagine AI, because before we thought about how am I going to automate customer service, how am I going to use all that availability in order to remove the employee or from the bank. In our case, it was the opposite. We brought AI as a tool or something that could create the potential for that service. So what did we do from then until today? The first agent we had was an agent that focused on being able to train our banker for our business model, which is very specific and that focuses on high-end customers. So we created that first version of the agent and we used it to train our other supporters, whether for the automation platforms you concentrate AI, and actually you have the entire flow, and it becomes more effective regarding training. After we rolled out the entire thing for that banker to be a co-pilot, an agent who would work in a parallel way with the bank when servicing customers. So we follow up all the meetings. All the meetings are validated according to our business model, And then the banker has all the outputs of everything that was said in those meetings. What was the main demand of the customer according to our business model? You should have said that thing or that other thing, yeah. And that happens later, yes. So what do we expect when talking about the future? Is that this agent or that future agent actually creates all the forecast for the service specific for that customer using what was not said directly during the meeting as a base, but that could be perceived by behaviors overall. Sensational. Bruno, you, in that new journey, in the first journey you had the wave of digitalization and now you are surfing the AI wave. What have you seen? What is your position now, especially after the inputs from Itaú, Bank Itaú? We were saying before coming here that we are going to have NeoSpace in Lifetime in order for it to help Lifetime as soon as possible. But please tell us why you wanted to develop something locally. We talked about this regarding the Brazilian AI. What's different? How are you looking for that specialization in a conversational Brazilian model which is more directed toward the financial sector, please? Well, for starters, we think about language, the pure language. And AI can be used to generate any type of token, not just the vocabulary that communicates. And the vocabulary we can create is what's the approximation of the user, the production capacity for next month for the plant, and infinite uses, even the decision-making process at a corporate level, so it can correlate more data than a human can in order to make decisions. The best product price, the best value for a client according to their capacity to pay a renegotiation, so they can forecast or foresee many different things, not just language, such as credit capacity. So we design models that not only foresee language. When you foresee the approximation before the client starts using the app, which is different for every person, that has to do with the architecture in order for you to compile all the transactions. Just try to picture the CRM with all the accounts, the balance, and the credit portfolio, and having all that bank state of that client. Then you need to correlate that, which is dynamic, and being able to process that in order to see how is he going to come to us, or how we can best communicate to him, and then use that in order to create an argument in which the customer is not in a box anymore, because we think about the CRM as a box. This is a high-end customer, this is a medium customer, and that concept is going to end, and basically every customer will have its own box, so we have a unique client. We will not just have tons of segmentation and try to standardize people according to several data standards. So that's one aspect. Secondly, in language, we want to be better than ChatGPT for service, and GPT is actually good for anything. For those of you who do not know, it's general proposal. So technology is for general purposes. And we focus on customer service. So we want to have a simpler model for those who are implementing, because it's easy to create an agent. But when you escalate that to 20 agents, 30, 300 in a large corporation with lots of different pieces of data, that becomes chaotic. And how you test that. So you meddle in the prompt and you don't know what's going to be the positive or negative impact. You meddle here and then that creates another problem in the future. So that's not cool for the future development. All the architecture we have in the model is for us to facilitate the process. All the memory uploading, system integration, we want for that to become simpler in operations, and also to bring to companies the easy capacity with the GPUs capacity. And for that we have a nice partnership for you to adjust this according to your preferences, because in a prompt sometimes it's difficult for you to adjust the model and it's difficult to train models. So how can you deal with that in an easy way for you to optimize that for your own style, for the company's style, in order to respond? Nice. Let's move back to you. Fernando, culture change. Please tell us about the usability experience in your company regarding AI. Bruno has a quote, and he says, many times we look at AI as that utopic thing, so it needs to be better than all my robots. But in the first step, it needs to be more than the previous status quo, or better than the person with the lowest performance, and that's going to increase slowly. But how is being the cultural change in lifetime using the aid of AI as a basis? That's something which is there. Did you need to put more emphasis on that? It's going to be more of a flow process. How do you see that? Well, let's see. When we speak about humans, usually we have change, which is a difficult word. Although we are a young company, and usually you have the first line of early adopters, who are the people who enjoy technology and get involved in it, a large part of them is actually more withdrawn. They do not really want to accept it. So the change came as a strategy with a well-defined change, and we created a group, which was a controlled group that served both to test and also offer feedback and be aspirational for those who were outside looking at that and see the differential. Those who use the performance tool have more easiness or something like benefits.
And then you can transform the whole. The most important aspect is not this difficulty of transformation, but it's precisely the effect post-change. When you adhere to the usage and you can start to see the benefits, it seems that the train gains momentum and nothing can hold it back. No, I would like to add on that. I noticed that sometimes companies deal with AI as if it were, as if it was an area of technology, but the traditional software is not very connected to this ability to evolve AI. This is a completely different ballgame. The software, we are used to specify the business rule, and then we developed it and develop, and we create the test case. But AI seems much more like a human management scenario. Why do you have supervisors in the call centers? And there is a mistake, there are errors, and it's normal. But AI, we think as a software that it has to be perfect. It was going to develop this rule, but no, there's an intelligence there, and we need to give it feedbacks, we need to evolve it, we need to adapt it to the standards of each company. So the way of dealing with it is different, and I think that the companies have a little bit of a difficulty thinking more traditionally, and I think this is great what you're saying. And we had this conversation recently, and you talked about the methodology of development of software and the vision of AI being supervised by an AI itself. You have the AI who is making the call, you have the supervisor, so it's much more of an applicability vision focused on a different thought process that permeates the business. My question goes hand in hand with this idea. Do you see the adhesion of AI starting from a business user that is going to bring this idea to the company, saying, I would like to implement that due to gaining efficiency, or do you see that these both worlds work together? I think both can give this push to the company. Sometimes you will have a more innovative area that's going to push the business area. The business area is not prepared to understand how to understand. It's different to structure a supervisor of AI, supervisor of the supervisor with the human feedback. This is a different operation, and this can come from both areas. Sometimes we have a business area that really wants to give the push so that the technology can evolve. So I think that both parts, the one who was a pioneer will have a competitive advantage and know how to be able to adapt quicker in the future. I think both can
Muito bom. Fernandão, para a gente ir caminhando já aqui para o final
For
do
us
nosso painel,
to finish
se
our
você pudesse
panel,
dar
if you could give
algumas
us
dicas para
a
quem
few
está
tips
começando essa
for
jornada
those
de
who
AI,
are
assim como
beginning
vocês
in
começaram
the
há um
AI
tempo
journey,
atrás,
which you
e
began a
como que você
while back,
posiciona
how
Lifetime para
do
essa
you
audiência por
position
aqui? O que que você
Lifetime
tem de
for
visão?
this
A Lifetime ser
agency?
talvez a melhor
Is Lifetime
assessoria
maybe
financeira
the
com base em
best
inteligência artificial? Então conta um pouquinho do que você vê para frente, se você
AI-based
puder essas dicas de
agency? If you
primeiros
can
passos
give
de
us a bit of this
positioning para
first
a
step
audiência.
Legal.
uh,
Bom, para os
tips.
primeiros passos,
For
se eu
first
puder
steps,
dar uma
if
dica,
I can give you a tip,
tenham uma mente
is having
completamente aberta e
a completely
ouçam
open
aí
mind and
Você
listen.
falou, né? Puta, ficava no começo a
You said,
alucinação,
oh,
imagina que ela
at the
vai
beginning it was
dar uma
crazy,
direção que não tem nada a
imagining
ver
it's
com
going to
aquela
give a
necessidade.
direction
Então, legal.
direction that has
isso,
nothing to do.
imagina, a gente mexe com
Yeah,
investimento,
imagine
né?
we
Dinheiro,
deal
né?
with
Você
money,
sabe qual é a maior
investments.
dor do
You
ser
know what's
humano
the
ou não?
biggest
O
pain
bolso.
Boa,
Pede
gostei,
dinheiro,
gostei.
pede dinheiro
the
dele para
of a
você ver.
human being?
Gostei, muito
It's the
bom.
pocket.
Então, assim, se você não é
So
muito
if
efetivo
you're not
nisso, você tem um
very
problema sério.
effective,
Então, a gente
you have a
morria de
serious
medo de
problem. So
alucinação. E você percebe que a hora que
we
você vai
were
começa
very
a
frightful of that
tatear um pouco
problem. And
mais,
when
isso
you
vão
begin
aparecendo
to understand,
N caminhos.
you
Então, assim,
see a
procurem bons
large
parceiros.
number
A Oracle é um
of pathways.
parceiraço,
Look for a
parceiraço. A Distrito também,
associate.
pô, que
Distrito is a great
agradecendo um pouco no
associate
começo, também um baita
whom we
parceiro que pode apoiar,
thanked in
dar
the
visão
beginning. They can
estratégica
support our
e vão
strategic
aparecer
vision.
assim muitas oportunidades
And
para o futuro.
for the future,
Que eu vejo?
what do I
Sim,
see in the
espero que
future?
o
Yes,
AI seja
I hope
uma
AI
parte
is a
transformacional da nossa
transformative
empresa,
part of our
veio para ficar.
company.
Acho que o
It
que
came
tem
to
para
stay.
fazer
I think there's no
quase
turning back.
inimaginável.
It's
Já tem
almost
tanta coisa, parece coisa nova todo
unimaginable.
dia.
We
Isso
have
só vai
different
fazer
technologies
com
every
que
day, and
um dos
this
objetivos que a gente
will
tem
make
fazer
us
com que o cliente tenha a melhor
have
experiência
a
possível em
better
relação aos seus
experience possible
investimentos
for
no
the
futuro, e
customer
AI só
for their
tende a nos ajudar.
investment in the
Muito
future.
bom. Brunão, futuro Neospace, o que vem por aí? O que você
Future
poderia compartilhar aqui
Neospace, what can
com a
you
audiência, tanto de
bring
desenvolvimento
to the
quanto em mercados que
company,
vocês estão atingindo?
both
Como que o
in
pessoal encontra
development?
vocês para
How do
testar? O
you
modelo de vocês
see?
já está aberto, não está aberto? O que
I
que
don't
você
know if
pode
it's
compartilhar
open
com a
or not.
audiência?
What can you
Bom, então
share
a gente
with
está
the audience? We are
planejando esse ano
planning
lançar nosso modelo Open, né?
to,
Então a gente está
to
trabalhando duro
launch our
nisso aí,
open AI
inclusive
model.
estamos trabalhando forte com as
We are
GPUs lá.
working strongly with the
Basicamente
GPOs,
24/7, sem descanso, né?
Exato. Então a gente quer lançar
and we
muito
want
esse
to
ano ainda o modelo.
launch
Talvez a gente vai
in
abrir o
this year.
CRM também Open, eu não sei. A gente está pensando ainda.
We are
Isso
still
é bem
thinking about that.
importante.
That's
Acho
quite
que
important.
no Brasil a gente
I
quer
think that in
realmente
Brazil we really want
colocar
to
o Brasil forte no tema
place
de AI global, né? A gente
Brazil in
treina
the
em
global
todas as línguas
scenario. We
porque o maior
train in every
reconhecimento
language
hoje de
because
maior
most
qualidade está em
of
inglês
the
ou até
quality content today is in
asiático de
English
alguma forma.
or in an Asian
Então a gente já
language.
treina ele global, a gente
So
quer
we train it
trazer aí o
globally.
modelo
We want
funcionando
for the model
globalmente, a gente quer escalar fora
to
também, então isso já
function
está
globally. We
meio
want to
fora dos Estados
scale it
Unidos. Então,
abroad.
a gente, comercialmente
So
agora a gente vai atacar
commercially, we
alguns
were going to
segmentos, né?
tackle a few segments,
E em breve a
and
gente está muito
shortly
focado no case, né? Foca
we
agora no
are
case do
right now
Itaú, etc.
focused on the
Mas
Itaú
em breve a
case,
gente vai
but
estar
shortly we
em
will
algum momento
be
mais ativo, lançando
more
o Open,
active,
mais
launching
forte
open and
eh,
acting
para toda a
strongly
indústria.
Muito bom.
for the
Pessoal, a
industry
gente
as a
já
whole.
caminhando aqui para o
Okay,
final do
so
nosso
we are going
painel,
to the
então deixa eu
end
deixar até
of our
passar para o
talk.
próximo slide. Aqui
Let
são
me
alguns logos
show
que
you the next
confiaram na
slide. A
marca da
few
Oracle, assim como
companies
Lifetime
who
e
trusted in Oracle,
Neospace,
like
no
Lifetime, Neospace,
desenvolvimento
in
de
the
AI
development
e de
of AI and
tecnologia.
technology.
Esse painel não era para falar da
This
Oracle,
panel
a
was
gente
not
tem esse
about
mantra,
Oracle. We
então,
have this
Oracle AI,
mantra that
resultados
Oracle
reais,
AI
então cada
is,
vez
and
mais os nossos
real
clientes
results.
falando
More our
sobre o
customers are
potencial da
talking
nossa
about the
tecnologia, é o
potential
que
of
nos
our
move.
technology, and that's what
Nós
moves us
temos o
ahead.
stand que está ali
We
na rua
have a
principal,
stand
tem lá o
which is in
carrinho do
the,
Max
we have
Verstappen, a
the
Oracle
Marcus
também
Verstappen.
está junto com a
Oracle
Red
is
Bull
also
Racing na
with Red
Fórmula
Bull
1, quem
Racing in
quiser
Formula One.
concorrer, quem quiser ver um pouco da
Those who want
tecnologia que
to
está sendo
check
utilizada,
out the
ali a gente tem um
technology being used, we
showcase,
have a
super
showcase.
convidados para visitar nosso
You are all
stand
invited to
e
visit our
conhecer
stand,
mais da Lifetime. Então,
and
quem tem
those
potencial,
who have
busque o Fernando para
potential,
ser o potencial
talk
cliente deles.
about,
E em
talk to
breve, mais
Fernando,
novidades da
and
Neospace
shortly
com modelos
Neospace will
abertos e
bring you
afins, gente.
other
Muito
novelties
obrigado a
on open
todos, foi um
models.
prazer estar com vocês
Thank
aqui
you. It
hoje.
was a
Obrigado,
pleasure being
Bruno.
with you
Obrigado,
today. Thank you,
Fernando.
Bruno and
Obrigado,
Fernando.
obrigado.